Hey guys, so about a month ago, I started watching a bunch of documentaries. I started watching Rotten, which is about all the different foods that actually have a very conflicted process by the time it gets to your grocery store. Like for instance, how honey is produced and how there's this entire convoluted political issue with China producing honey that's not actually honey, it's like rice sugar and things like that. Anyway, so check if you want to know more about it. It's on Netflix, and you just really get to understand the darkness behind how your foods come to your table. And so after watching a bunch of those, avocado and chocolate and all these things that I love to eat, and I'm like, I started getting really paranoid, and I started just really realizing how the world is corrupt and how the world is dark and evil, and everyone's just, out for themselves, and they just want to pinch a penny, there's money at all costs. It's like I've gotten to this really bad dark tunnel of how the world is. And so I was like, you know what? I need to remove myself from that, from the documentaries, from the truth, from how the sausage gets made, and bring myself to a time when, to a world where it's more positive. So one of my guilty pleasures is watching romantic comedies. I love, it's just one of my little guilty pleasures when I have the time. And one of my favorite ones are Hallmark movies. I don't know if you've ever known. There's an entire following for Hallmark movies, like the Christmas ones. And they're always poorly, it's always B-list actors that are doing these movies, but yet a lot of them get famous because of them. I don't know. I love them, and it just gives you this really gooey feeling whenever you watch one of those movies, and they're super attractive people in it, and you just feel like you're in that world of everyone's just beautiful and things always work out. Anyway, so I was kind of watching a bunch of these Hallmark movies, and Netflix suggested this movie called The Choice, and if you haven't watched it, it's a Nicholas Sparks, based on Nicholas Sparks' book, and it's about this. It's about this, obviously in southern part of the States. It's always like The Notebook, right? Everyone knows The Notebook, Charleston, or I don't exactly know where this movie was set, but beautiful lake and water, and there's always this kind of a country home, and they're this beach house or whatever. So it's a guy and a girl, and they hate each other at first and they fall in love. And in the movie, it reveals that the main character, the dude's mom passed away when he was 14 years old. And so after I watched the scene where he revealed that, I was looking at I was feeding my son. I was like, oh my God, it hit. I was like, oh my God, what if I die? What if I die when he's 14? Because those are things that come across your head. And then I was I paused the movie, and I was looking at it, and I was oh my God, what if that happened? What if because the biggest fear of any parent is your child passing before you. But the second biggest fear is yourself passing, or your spouse passing before your child is, grown. And so I was thinking about this, and I turned off the TV, and I was kind of getting a little bit upset, and I was that, you never know, right? Life happens, and, with this whole pandemic thing going on, people are dying, but, it's obviously, it's often the most vulnerable people, and it's highly unlikely I'm gonna die. And so I started thinking about this, and I started thinking about what if I were to pass away, and my children, if he's 14 and my daughter's 17, how would that affect them? And I started thinking about all these other movies I've seen where they always make the mom die, like Bambi, and To All the Boys I've Loved. The mom's always, they always somehow make the mom die. Anyway, and so I started thinking about my death, and I started thinking about what would happen. And how comfortable am I at this point in my life leaving what I've left? What kind of regrets do I have? What kind of unfinished business do I have? What kind of things that are there that I want to do but wouldn't get done if I'm dead? And I mean, it's a dark past. Death is something I've thought about a lot in my life. And thinking about death is very, it's like, it ripples through my journals as a kid. It's when you think about when you're a kid that harms themselves and has suicidal thoughts, when you're a kid that has that, you think about death a lot. And I wrote poetry as an 11-year-old on how it would feel to drown and things like that. So I'm a dark kid. So at this moment, I'm holding my son, and I'm thinking about what if I were to die, and a light comes, and I'm thinking I'd be okay with it. And the reason for this is because I'm recording right now. I've been recording since January of last year. I've been writing since August 2017 about everything that's going on inside my head. And it's online, and it's for the public, and it's on this essentially a permanent record of everything that's going on in my life. All the lessons I've learned, lessons that my parents have taught me, stories about them, who I am, what I'm about, and everything that I've put on my blog, everything that I've said in my podcast, my videos, in my words, and my books are true to me. And that's a really strong statement that I have. I have been as authentic as I possibly could in this medium, in this platform, that I've ever in my entire life. Knowing that this is available to my children and their children and their children's children and whatever, if they decide to have children, to them when that time comes, it gives me a sense of relief. And it gives me a sense of comfort that I've left somewhat of a legacy to this point of almost 3 years of blogging and capturing those random ramblings in my head onto digital paper. And it gives me, and honestly, it's like, it motivates me even more to keep doing this. And it's not just, it gives me comfort and reassurance that when or if that time comes where, maybe I leave Earth a little earlier than I wanted, that I have something left for them. Those who are maybe on the fence about blogging, on the fence about writing or putting things out in the public, and feel that they want to do it but they're scared, or they want to do, or all these list of reasons for not doing it, here's a reason. If you have children, this is just there's other ways you can capture these moments for sure. You can record them in like a private private folder of yours or whatever, right? It doesn't have to be public, but I would start. And because yes, life is short and it's unexpected, things unexpectedly can happen. It's also very rewarding to know everything that you've put down is authentic to you, and it's your kind of like little safe space for yourself. So I just wanted to bring that fact, is that with starting this entire blogging journey that I've had with creating videos and creating podcasts and audio and all these courses and books and all these things, like, yes, at the end of the day, I want to make a living doing this, doing what I love. It's my passion and purpose. But if I really peel back the onion of what the core reasons are, it's for me, and it's for my little small family that I have, and it's for my children, it's for my husband, it's for the future, it's for the present, and it's about reflecting in the past. And so it just motivates me more and more to keep doing this, and it drives what I'm about, being authentic, being raw, real, honest with everything that I do in this platform, everything that I say, the words that I use, the sentences, the paragraphs, those are words that hold me accountable. Yeah, I can say these to you and you can say, well, you didn't do this or you didn't do that, but at the end of the day, that's you. And if I don't hold myself accountable, then who is going to? Because you have to be the one that self-motivates yourself. And if I write, a life lesson or guideline or some sort of practice that I do, and then I don't do it later on, I can read that and say to myself, why am I not, walking the talk? I wrote about this. Or I reflect back and read or watch some of my old things, and I say to myself, no, actually it's changed. Like, it's actually gotten a lot better, and these are the changes, and this is what I'm going to talk about. So I really encourage you to, whatever you're thinking of doing and you want to do it real, raw, and authentically, do it. It's always a good time to start. It's either you start or you don't. And really focus on completing rather than trying to aim for perfection. You can research to the nth degree of how to do something, but to actually do it, then take that first step, that's when you're going to go places. So let me know if you ever see that movie, or if you ever, if you ever thought about, if you were to pass away and you've got young children, how would you feel and how would that look like? Let me know. It's a kind of a deep question, but I'd love to know.